I hope this video isn't too dark. I don't want to turn my ring light on because then you can see the glare in my glasses like really bad. And I think this might just be light enough to get away with not using it. Oh shit. So yeah, sorry if it's a little bit dark, but I just think if I turn the ring light on, then the reflection of my glasses is probably just going to be really annoying. So I actually had quite a few messages from people asking me to do like a festival roundup, or like what festivals I did this year, what my favourite festivals were this year. So I thought I would sit down and do that. I'm pretty sure I forgot a lot of the festivals that I've done because I was writing them down and I'm sure I've missed some. Like, I feel like I've done more than what I can remember, and also majority of these seem to be festivals abroad. I'm sure I did more in England, but maybe I didn't. The first one that I can remember is back in May, and it was Lost and Found Festival in Malta. So I went last year and I went this year too. I do have a whole separate video on it, which I will link below, although it may need updating. I haven't rewatched it since I filmed it basically. So the festival is called Lost and Found. It's kind of hosted by Annie Mac. It's in Malta. It's relatively inexpensive. If I remember correctly, I think it's Thursday to Monday, but both years I've flown out Friday to Monday, I'm pretty sure. There are direct flights from Bristol. Flights are usually pretty cheap. Hotels are really nice and also pretty cheap, same as Airbnb. Some people are getting villas there and it's actually really inexpensive. It's a much smaller festival than if you compare it to, say, Hideout. But I quite like that about it. So there's like a day venue and a night venue, both in completely separate places. They also do castle raves, beach parties, and there's one more they do. Oh, boat parties, but I don't like boats, so I really like it. I would probably go again. It's definitely more cheesy and more commercial, but I do quite like that. It's like my little guilty pleasure. I like doing stuff like that. It's fun. The day party is a pool party, which I really enjoy. I think it's fun, although I never get in the pool, but it's just fun. In terms of weather, because I know that puts some people off going, I think they used to do it in April, like years ago. So it used to be really, really cold. Last year, it was really good weather the whole time. This year, it wasn't great the whole time. It rained and it wasn't particularly warm on the nights at all. Like, you did need a jacket, but I don't mind that. I genuinely rather that weather than, for example, I'll speak about later, when we went to Kappa and it's absolutely boiling, you feel like you're gonna die. So then right after that, literally only a few days later, I flew out to Amsterdam for Music On Festival. This is like the complete opposite really of Lost and Found. It's kind of, I would say, like less commercial. It's a different crowd. This was one of my favourite festivals of the year, easily. The venue was really good, the weather was really good, but again, it is in May, so I think that was a little bit of a fluke that we had such nice weather. Amsterdam in itself, like, I really like the city. I've been quite a few times now, but yeah, that was my first year of Music On and I really, really enjoyed it. I would definitely recommend. The only thing is, the flights to Amsterdam can be cheap, hotels aren't cheap, and transport, if you're not familiar or you're not very good, or you can't get the tram or the train around there, then Ubers are just so expensive, it's actually a joke, and that's genuinely what's put me off going to Amsterdam. But yeah, everything about it, the actual festival itself, I really, really enjoyed. I would definitely go again. I don't think the tickets were that expensive. If you can get a good deal on the hotel, and flights are usually quite cheap, then I would definitely go. I think that was just a Saturday and Sunday thing. Yeah, 100% recommend. See, now this is where I'm sure I must have done something else, but maybe I didn't. But then in June, I flew to Barcelona for, do you know what? It was either Sonar or off week. And I'm really getting confused on the difference between them all. I know Sonar's the actual festival and it wasn't the actual festival. So it was either off week or off Sonar, but it's switched. So last year I did off week or off Sonar, and this year I did off week or off Sonar. I did the opposite, but I can't remember which way around it is. I love Barcelona as a city. It's one of the prettiest places I've ever been. Really, really enjoyed it. This version of off week or off zone or whatever the hell I did was a little bit different to when I'd went previously. So last June or July, whenever I went, it was kind of like almost a bit like buying a ticket for an event in the UK. You know how you literally have all these venues split out over the UK and you obviously go to one venue. Imagine that, but on a smaller scale. So it was all different venues in Barcelona. Kind of a bit like ADE or AID in Amsterdam. And yeah, I really, really enjoyed that. So it meant you were going to all these different venues all around Barcelona. This year, there were 3 separate tickets. So there was like a Paradise ticket, a Fuse ticket, and something else. And I brought us the Paradise and Fuse ones. But actually, when we arrived at the venue, all 3 places were in the same place. So I did see some people on Facebook complain after, saying like, we've brought a ticket for all 3, but you could just go to all 3 on one ticket. I don't know if that makes any sense. I can't think of the name of exactly where it was. I'll insert it here. I thought the venue was really cool. I would definitely go again. I would definitely recommend going to Barcelona for either off week or off zone or whatever the hell it is, because it seems like I've done both. And from there we flew to Ibiza. So we flew from Barcelona to Ibiza, and obviously, you know, Ibiza is like a whole different ball game. Again, I have got a video on Ibiza, but it probably does need updating now. But I will link it below regardless, so you can have a look, watch. It's really cool actually. Sometimes when I'm out, people will come up to me and tell me that like they've gone to Ibiza because they've seen my video, so that's quite cute. So the next thing that I can remember doing is Hideout. So for those of you who don't know, me and Lee actually got to go with Hideout themselves. Oh my god, it was like the best thing ever. So I've been to Hideout before. Again, I'm pretty sure I've got a video on that. I'll link that below. That's, oh god, when did I go? I went 2015, 2016, so I went quite a while ago. Yeah, then went back again this year. Pretty much everything in my video still applies. I would still recommend staying in Nostalgia. I thought Hideout was going to be a lot busier than what it was. I think the past couple of years people have complained that it's just been so busy that I actually think has put people off going, to the extent that when me and Lee went, I didn't think it was any worse than when I'd been previously. Again, it's more of like a commercial crowd maybe, but again, I quite enjoy that. In the day you've got the pool parties to go to, which is one thing that I do miss about, for example, like Musicon and Sonar. It's more of they're more like the typical festivals you'd see in the UK, except they're abroad. So obviously the weather's nicer, they just tend to be more fun, better, less queues, etc. It does seem like festivals abroad do not oversell to the capacity that the UK festivals do. So you never have to wait as long you know, for the toilet, for the bar to get in. Yeah, whereas Hideout is definitely a lot more busy than that. After going back to Hideout this year, I just forgot how much of a good venue the whole beach is in itself. Like, where else can you go where you're literally on the beach and it's got all these different venues with stages and, oh, I don't know. I really like Hideout. I definitely want to do Sonas, because it's kind of in the same location, except not all of the beach clubs are open. And I think the timings are a little bit different. I don't think it's as much pool party focused, but again, I don't really get in the pool. It's not like I'm doing laps of the pool or anything. I just like, I don't know, I just think it's fun. But yeah, Hideout is one that I would still definitely recommend. It's not cheap really when you add it all up. It's a bit of a faff. It's, you know, the actual location is quite far from the airports and stuff, but I would definitely go again. I really enjoyed it. We just had an absolute nightmare getting from Hideout, which if you follow me on Instagram at the time, you probably would have seen. So I'm not going to go into the complete ins and outs, but basically we had to get from Hideout in Croatia to Turin for Kappa Festival, and we just had an absolute, it was just a shit show, to be honest. Everything that could have gone wrong went wrong. Lost our luggage. I had no luggage for the whole 2 days of Kappa. I had to buy a whole new festival outfit. It was just, yeah, it wasn't great. So Kappa Festival, I really enjoyed this. This was in Turin, in Italy. I don't know if I'm saying that right. In Italy. It was hot. It was really hot. Like, probably one of the hottest places I've ever been. Really fun. Much different crowd to Hideout, and I really liked that this year, where I did like Lost and Found and then Musicon, Hideout and then Kappa, because they're completely different festivals. It's a completely different crowd, to an extent it's completely different music. They're just very different. So when people say, oh, did you prefer, you know, Hideout or Kappa, did you prefer Lost and Found and Musicon, you can't really compare the two, I don't think, because they are so different. I really enjoyed it. The tickets for this were really cheap, actually, if I remember right. I swear it was like £35 for a weekend ticket or something. I don't think the hotels was too expensive. The only thing is flights were just stupid. Flights were stupid expensive. And it's quite funny because I looked to go 2 years ago, and I swear the direct flights from Bristol for like £40. This year, they're like £400. That brings us up to the beginning of July. Now, I feel like I must have done more than that. But the only thing that I can think that I did next was Lovebox, I think. So Lovebox is in London. It's a festival that me and my friends did a few years ago. Absolutely loved it. Again, really enjoyed it again this year. We didn't stay for as long. But no, I really enjoyed it. I would go again. The only thing is, the actual stage that like me and my friends look to go to, it seems to be getting smaller and smaller and less people. Yeah, it's not really, the festival as a whole isn't really my kind of thing, but there is a stage or two that like has the kind of music that I listen to and that I really enjoy. So yeah. I know I went to Ibiza in August, but again, done a video on that, and it doesn't really count as a festival, I wouldn't say. I feel like that must have been it. I feel like last year I did so much. Last year I did a lot more in the UK. It was, you know, EE, Abode in the Park. I feel like this year I've obviously just gone away more than I've been here. Probably going to edit this and think of a few places that I've missed, but I genuinely do think that that is it. So basically, to round up, I've enjoyed everything that I've done this year. I can't think of a single festival that I've been to that I would not recommend. It just depends on the type of music you like, your budget, what DJs you want to see. I don't really know what else to say, so I feel like that's probably the end of this video. As for next year, I have no idea what I'm doing yet. Park life! I did park life. Okay, so God knows what happened to the audio for this. It's completely gone. But basically what I was saying, it's just that I don't think I will go again. It was way too busy this year. Like, we've been VIP, it wasn't worth it. I just honestly think I would do other things instead of park life, to be honest. I've been like the past 5 years in a row. I don't know whether I've just overdone it or whether it actually is just shit, but I do not think I will be returning. And like I said, the audio's gone, so it didn't catch me saying bye, so bye.